What's going on, YouTube? It's Gavin here with another reaction video for you today. So I mentioned in my videos on this channel that this is a brand new YouTube channel. I have only had this for a few days. I had a previous YouTube channel. Something happened. It got taken down a while ago. So a few days ago I decided I miss doing YouTube and I'm gonna, my channel started blowing up a little bit. I wasn't mainstream, but it started coming up and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna even work harder than that. So I was doing one video a day, especially on my days off. I work 5 days a week, but especially on my days off, I plan on doing 2, 3, maybe even 4 videos. So definitely subscribe, and also check out in the description box below. I have a brand new Instagram, a brand new Twitter. That's gonna be down there. Also, the link to my Patreon. I just created a Patreon, so go join that, join the community, and let's go check out Hopsin, Your House. I mentioned that, I might as well mention that I checked out a update from Hopsin a few days ago. Check out that update reaction as well on my channel. But he was talking about how he recently started therapy, and that the music he's going to be releasing was in a darker time of his life, and he's in a better spot right now. So Hopsin, if you're watching right now, I just want to say congratulations, man. You deserve it, and I wish you the best. And I also said in that video too, 2020, everyone was locked down in their houses, and a lot of these famous people have literally studios in their apartments, in their houses. So a lot of these artists are going to be have recorded and are going to be released a lot of new albums coming up in 2021, 2022. So expect a lot of new albums to be dropping. So I'm excited for that, especially for my YouTube channel. And again, subscribe. You're going to see what I'm going to be reacting to. Y'all already know. And so Hopsin, Your House. Let's go check it out. And I also want to stop just to say I'm not trying to pause it too many times just because I don't want the video to be super long, but I am going to be talking about some specific bars that really strike me on a personal level, just because I feel like some of this might be relatable to me and maybe to others as well. So I just want to say that. So don't come at me for not breaking down every single bar. That's just the way I want to do this video.
Man, I don't even know what happened. I was born inside of this shit, my fucking parents scrapping. I was mortified as a kid. Police always at my house, all because of my daddy's temper. Man, this shit been going on about as long as I can remember. He'd always blame my mom for the shit he didn't accomplish. I'd hide in the corner like a guinea pig in the process, just knowing he about to smack the fucking teeth out of mouth. It's like when it came to some type of drama, he got aroused. No joke, there was the moments where dad would slowly be creeping up. I would jump in front of my mama, please don't beat her up. I ain't never spoke on this shit, the memories are up. Smiles and hugs, that's just something you'll never see in us. You know the pain when your parents tell you to go and play, then hours later you see your mom and she got a swollen face. I hope you don't relate, I just learned how to cope today, from the days when I would pick up the phone and say, I gotta leave here now.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a relatable song to many people, and I want to say, if you are currently in this situation, I hope not only things get better for you, but I hope somehow you find a way out of.
My mom and dad acting crazy and this ain't right, and they've been going back and forth all night. I wanna stay at your house tonight, cause I don't wanna hear my dad fight mama no more. I don't wanna hear the police at the front door. Can I stay at your house? I wanna stay at your house tonight. Your house tonight. I would go to school feeling so frightened.
Oh, that reminded me, my friend John. God, John. I was friends with this kid named John back in middle school. And he was like the coolest dude. But it was a very similar situation. The dad would beat him and the mom, and the mom was like on drugs to cope, and it was just a bad time. I'm not saying the last name, obviously. Like that was my friend, and he, I was worried about him, and I talked to my parents, and I was like, "Do you think he could stay here?" And my family fought too, but it was nothing to that degree. So they were like, "Yeah, he can stay for a little bit, like not definitely, but he can stay." So I told him, I'm like, you can come over and stay with us for a little bit, and he didn't want to because he was just convinced he would be a burden. So that, I'm sorry if I went off topic, but that chorus just it threw me back to middle school, and I haven't seen him since. I haven't seen him since 8th grade. So, John, if you're watching this, man, I hope you're doing good.
Yeah, I was scared, not knowing if I'ma go home, finding my mama dead. Every other fucking day, Dad was always losing control. He was acting like a fucking ape running loose in our home. Man, ever since I was born, they was pessimistic and torn. It's evident, but regardless, they never get a divorce. God, I wish they got around it, just checking into some counseling. We could have been a happy family inside our house again. I said again as if we ever were, that's false. Shit I dealt with growing up will forever hurt. I'm lost, we were nothing like the families I used to see on the sitcoms. We were horrible with bonds, I can no longer sitcom. I would see that my friends had a life at home that was peaceful. They were lovable people who didn't function like we do. Or how I wish I could redo the pain of the wicked days when I'd pick up the telephone, call a friend and say, I gotta leave here now, my mom and dad acting crazy.
And I gotta say too, first off, we gotta end the stigma behind therapy. There's nothing wrong with seeking help. How I see a therapist, and I know a lot of people are afraid of it or ashamed of it. There's nothing to be ashamed of if you're trying to look out for yourself and better yourself and help the state of mind. So there's that, and as far as that goes, it's just a lot covered in this, and I'm thinking about all the people that came home after all the kids that came home after domestic disputes and found out that one of their parents killed the other, and I know it happens, and that's why I'm just shook right now, because that's where I'm thinking. Like, first I was thinking about in the first verse John, my friend John, back in the day, and now I'm thinking about that, and it's just a scary thing, a situation to be in. So my thoughts are going out to everyone in that situation.
And this ain't right, and they've been going back and forth all night. I wanna stay at your house tonight, cause I don't wanna hear my dad fighting mama no more. I don't wanna hear the police at the front door. Can I stay at your house? I wanna stay at your house tonight, your house tonight. I ain't placing the blame, saying it's mom or dad's fault, but all those traumas I had stuck with me as an adult, and it ignited these mad thoughts that I seem to have often. Yeah, that's Hopsin. Music is where my last straw went. Now I'm devoted to always give you my true life. The love I never felt growing up, I get it from you guys. Please don't get it twisted, I love both my parents to death.
I want to stop right there too. That's the one thing many things I love about Hopsin: his wordplay, his diction, his flow, but also how honest he is and always has been. And he's not ashamed of what he's been through and will be honest about it. And he knows people will relate. Same thing with Kid Cudi, another one of my favorites, and Eminem. Of course, I mean, I'm wearing my Eminem hoodie right now. I mean, come on. But that's why I love about Hopsin. And he knows he has the support of his fans.
I just think there's issues a lot of fucking parents neglect. We all got these traumas we carry, and sometimes it's scary cause we bury the nest right there in our chest, and we subconsciously air and project the nightmares and the stress that we dealt with when we were younger. And that's why therapy's best. Listen, if you got kids of your own and you throwing tantrums, don't be oblivious.
Again, don't be afraid to go to therapy. And a lot of these personality disorders and a lot of these disorders and stuff like mental disorders, personality disorders, all that stem from trauma, but also a lot of it can stem all the way to childhood. And you can say, oh, move on from your childhood, it's in the past. Things like, if you develop a personality disorder due to things that happened in your childhood, you can never get rid of the personality disorder. You can only go to therapy and find ways to cope with it and handle it, but it's always going to be there. And you could come at me like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I took psychology for almost 5 years between high school and college. It's all you could do is find a way to cope with it. And I'm sorry if this video's long, but I just wanted to say that, like, you don't be afraid to seek help.
And assume that it won't impact them. Children follow the protocol of the parents' blueprint, so when there's an issue, they might handle it just how you did. I gotta leave here now. My mom and dad.
Another pause. I know. Don't hate me. He's just talking so much facts, especially in. I mean, he was the whole song, obviously, but last verse, or I don't know if it's the last verse, third verse. There's still about like a minute and a half left, so he could have a fourth verse. But the third verse, he just touched on so much that I found on a personal level even more. Like, I feel like every verse I just find more personal. The thing is that's another true thing. When you're a child, you look up to your parents. You think that there's nothing wrong with them. Or if you do, you think that it can be fixed, and you think that they're all this, and then you want to be just like them, and you just idolize them. And the thing is when you're in that situation and you're looking up at them and you're like, I want to be just like you, but then the dad's over here throwing a temper tantrum in Walmart at the employees and treating them like shit. The kid's gonna notice that, and then when the kid grows up, he's gonna just do the same thing. It's just a pattern. And I actually saw online 2 kids lived with an alcoholic dad. One kid became an alcoholic just like the dad because he said, this is what my dad did. The second kid never drank ever, not a drop, because he saw what it did to his dad. So it's just crazy how kids can view things, be deceptive, and pretty much just the way it impacts them. So let's go.
Acting crazy and this ain't right, and they've been going back and forth all night. I wanna stay at your house tonight, cause I don't wanna hear my dad fighting mama no more. I don't wanna hear the police at the front door. Can I stay at your house? I wanna stay at your house tonight. Your house tonight.
It's definitely a song that struck me on a personal level. I'm sure many other people too. And again, Hopsin, I'm glad you're in a better spot right now if you're watching this. And I wish you nothing but the best again. And if you guys made it this far, thank you. And again, subscribe.